Hello, welcome to the Comic Book Club. I am your host, Jamil Payne, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Amanda Comey.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Let's just jump right into it. I was really excited to read some Aquaman. This was really fun.
Sweet. Okay, so today we are talking the 2011 New 52 semi-reboot of Aquaman, written by Geoff Johns, with art by Ivan Reis and Paul, Pelletier? Something like that. It tells the origin of half-human, half-Atlantean Arthur Curry and his rise, fall, and rise again as the King of Atlantis.
And it was really, really fun to read.
It really was. Like, you know what struck me as far as reading it this time? Because I read it back, a few years ago when it came out, or close to when it came out, is how quick of a read these.
Yes, I read them so fast. Like, I got to the end and I was like, okay, so that was like one issue. And I was like, nope, that was the whole volume.
And I'm like, is it because there's lack of words? Is it because it's that good? Well, let me also stress that, when we decided to do this, we were just going to do volume 1 and 3. But as going back to reading volume 1, I realized that volume 2 is necessary. So we're actually discussing the first 3 volumes of Aquaman.
And it really did. That was a really good ending point. It felt like I watched a movie.
Yeah. I mean, there's one more trade with Geoff Johns after this that's also really good. But no, Throne of Atlantis seems like a complete story,
Yeah. I also have sporadically read Aquaman, mostly because this is a book where the cover art can really, like, if I see a cool Aquaman cover with, like, Mira or something, I will just, like, pick it up and randomly read it. So having just, like, maybe, like, cartoon Justice League background even, you can jump in and read these and not feel like you're missing a lot.
Especially since it's like a reboot and like an origin story at the same time. So you feel like you're getting a lot in these 3 volumes.
Yeah, it was very, like, I hope this is the movie. I hope this is what the movie feels like.
From the trailer, it feels, I mean, with the exception of Jason Momoa, who just like, and I'm not saying there's a bad, but there's a very different Aquaman. It does feel like the movie looks like it's based after a lot of this.
Yeah.
It was one reason I wanted to read it.
Yeah, I could see this being a great movie. I wanted to talk for a second, real quick, just because I mentioned that Aquaman is something that I'll pick up just for the covers.
Right.
Sometimes. I wanted to mention that there were a lot of really fun covers throughout this series, and that I'm surprised at how much I liked them, because I remember at the time when the New 52 restarted, one of the things that really turned me off to a lot of those books was just how I would look at the wall in the comic book store and everything DC was putting out for the New 52 it just all looked exactly the same. Like the color palette, like
that blue,
how dark it was. Yeah.
That blue greenish tint, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like it's like being in the Matrix, like everything looked the same.
Well, right now all the DC covers have like this weird tint, purple pinkish tint to it. So it's definitely a thing, and like everybody draws like Jim Lee, it looks like. But
yeah, at least for the covers, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? You are absolutely right. But like if you take these books on their own, good books anyway, right? All the art is great. Like Ivan Reis is a great artist. You know what I'm saying? So like,
well, yeah, and that was what I was saying, was that I remember several years ago being like, oh my gosh, it all looks the same. It all looks like Jim Lee fan art, blah, blah, blah. It's all like the same and boring. But then when I was going through, I was like, no, like these are all really good. I really like all of this. And I was like, especially for Aquaman, it felt like it worked really well.
Look, the DC hate was high back in 2011, so you can't fault yourself for thinking.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you need distance.
Well, and also I feel like this tone works really well for Aquaman. I feel like maybe like Superman, which I feel like should be more bright. Maybe it would have been like more off-putting on like
Oh yeah,
the books for the like
Superman was a
maybe
disaster.
yeah, like maybe just like the whole Trinity should have been like, you know, more contrast. But no, the covers were great. The art was great. And the layouts were very like streamlined. So you just went through everything very fast.
Well, this also, if we talking about good art, this also the same time as New 52 Wonder Woman, written by
Hmm.
Brian Azzarello. And we've danced around talking about that, but it's kind of like the same thing where like, you look at you look at it, it looks the same, but like, once you get into it,
Yeah.
it's pretty, yeah. But no, no. So what do you think overall? I know you said it's fun, but like, what do you like feel about this? Does this make you an Aquaman fan? Does this make you want to read more Aquaman?
Um, yeah, I absolutely want to keep reading Aquaman. I don't know all of Mira's backstory, but every time she shows up, I just love how she looks and how she's like kind of just enough of a badass. I get that she's like, Mira reminds me of Vegeta. I don't know her whole backstory, but like, I get the impression that at some point she was the villain and was like, no, Aquaman's too cool. I'm going to be a good guy now.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, look, this book is almost not. It's not a 50-50 split, but it feels almost as much of a mirror book as it does an Aquaman book in a lot of ways. Like Geoff Johns realized Mirror is real fucking cool, and
Yeah.
decided to emphasize that. And like in an era where like no, in an era at both companies where they want most of their superheroes to be single, it's kind of cool that just from the jump of this reboot that Mirror is there, right? That they're already a couple, they're already in love. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's cool to have that in a comic book, like this loving relationship.
Yes. And to also have, this also reminds me a little bit of like these characters just look really cool together.
Yes.
And then they said, okay, well, if we want them together, we need to figure out their relationship in a way that makes sense, which is like the exact opposite of Cloak and Dagger, where Marvel's like, no, these characters look cool, just keep drawing them, and like, we won't ever worry about making them real characters.
I love how you bring up Cloak and Dagger like every other episode.
Because
No, it's fine.
because it's my one woman campaign to get them like a real story, you know? Yeah, Mira's my favorite mermaid princess now. Ariel can get out of the way.
And they both have red hair, right?
They both have red hair, but I'm just imagining, like Mira going to the Sea Witch, and the Sea Witch is all like, I'm a thing about taking your soul and helping you win the man over, and Mira would just like chop her in half.
And still win the man over
Yep.
just by force of will. I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, but if Mira did that, Mira look like she might be a little rapey. It's like if Mira wanted a man, ain't nothing you can do to stop her, including the man.
Yeah. Well, that's why you got to make her fall in love with you so that she stops being a bad guy through sheer cult of personality or something, right?
Yeah, right. So you talked about your favorite character. I want to talk about my favorite character, which
Yeah,
is
do it.
Loki Light Orm. That's the one thing when I was reading it, right? I was like, nah, because like 2011 is when like the when the Thor movie came out, so like it's clearly not on purpose, but like, man, I'm getting some shades of Loki and Orm, like, and I'm pretty sure like before this. Again, I've never read a lot of Aquaman before this. Like Ocean Master was always his half brother, but I always thought like Ocean Master was like a straight up bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
and they give him shades of gray in this, like a lot of shades of gray. In fact, they give him so many shades of gray. I think there's a detriment to one part of the story that I'm sure we'll get to in a minute. But I really like Orm, and I hope the Orm in the movie is this Orm. Is this Ocean Master, excuse me.
That would be really fun. No, I mean, I always like when they give the villain a plausible rationale. You know, Orm's just out there being the king of Atlantis, protecting his people from attack. You know, he's not completely crazy. He's not just after like $1 billion or something.
Well, you know what? Screw it. We'll get into it now.
Yeah, get into it.
I think Aquaman screws him in the end. I actually feel bad for Orm. Like, and I don't know if I'm supposed to, because I'm pretty sure the book is telling me I shouldn't. Mm-hmm. And like, I have this problem. Like, I always go for the bad guy a lot of the time. Not all the times, but like, anytime there's a story, like we talked about this, like with the mobster, like one more job and I'm out, right? I'm always rooting for that mobster to do that one more job and get out, right? No matter what terrible stuff he did, I'm always with Orm. I feel like in the end he gets screwed, like in a terrible way, and I don't know if that's on purpose or not. Am I supposed to feel that way? Because he doesn't start that war. Like, in fact, I think his response, considering everything, is actually kind of reasonable. You know, like think about it, right? Nuclear missiles hit your kingdom. You know how surface dwellers are about people that are special, and especially about your brother. Of course, he taxed the damn surface world. It's weird, as in like it seems like he legitimately loves his brother, and he always seems to acquiesce to him.
Yeah.
When he needs to, you know, not when he needs to, but like he seems to love his brother genuinely. Like he just acquiesces. Like he gives up the throne actually pretty easy in that fight. Like, you know, he's like, cool, you can have it, bro. Like I wanted you to have it anyway. And Aquaman immediately says, all right, you going to jail, motherfucker. He's like, what? and the person that actually started the war goes to Atlantean jail. Like, shouldn't it be like the other way around?
Yeah.
Am I tripping? Like it seemed weird how he just like let his brother go to jail for the. I mean, look, I've been thinking about this because I felt that way back in 2011. And like I'm thinking like maybe he was like politically tied up. Like if he didn't give Ocean Master, maybe the League would have came after him. So he thought maybe the best way to protect Orm was to put him in jail. But at the same time, it feels wrong. It just feels wrong to me that you would do that to your brother, especially with the knowledge knowing that he didn't start the war. And it's weird for me for like the Justice League to be like, nah, fuck him. Like it doesn't matter what happened to his kingdom.
Well, it also seems a little bit hypocritical because in this 3-volume story, we get flashbacks to when Arthur was younger and he is on a mission with, I guess, his old team, the others.
Yeah.
The D-list, whatever, Justice League. And there's a situation where they have to choose between going after Black Manta and saving a bunch of innocent villagers. And Aquaman's like, clearly we go after the villain. And everyone else is like, are you sure you're a hero? So, like, it seems there's this moral ambiguity in his past where he, you know, has been like, yeah, like, it's fine for innocent people to die if you're still thinking about the greater good. And it's like, okay, clearly he's, like, changed his mind about that, but, like, the fact that he can't, he doesn't show any of that nuance when he's talking to his brother about this.
And it's like,
it seems a little surprising. Like, it's like you said, it seems a little bit like Aquaman's putting on a show for the Justice League and doing what they would expect him to do so that he doesn't have to fight Superman again.
Actually, I kind of like what you would call the odds in that. Be honest with you, like Aquaman is shown to be a powerhouse in this, on par with Superman. Well, close to on par with Superman. Cause like shit, Orm takes out Superman, so I'm pretty sure Aquaman can.
Yeah, that was very fun, especially since this whole book starts with this premise, this like running joke about Aquaman being a stupid hero. And it seems like the whole story is intended to be like, okay, like, this is the new 52. We're going to start by presenting you with a strong argument for Aquaman being a legit character and not just like, you know, we had an extra spot in the Justice League.
Which is, again, like, all of this started because of the Super Friends. Aquaman has always been legit. That cartoon has single-handedly ruined that man's image for the last 40 years. Nothing else. There's nothing else in the comics that's ever done that. Nothing in the comics that I've ever seen or read that has ever done that to him to make him look that stupid. It's literally just that cartoon. And that's everybody's image, right? Because, like, oh, what he do, talk to fish? And you just like, well, Batman dresses up as an S&M dude every night. and hang out with little boys. Like, and that's a joke about Batman, but it's not like the permanent, like, feature of Batman. With Aquaman, it's all about talking to fish. And that's all he can do. He can't do shit else.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I just found that weird, and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to think about Ocean Master and his actions. Because from my point of view, they're completely justified. Like, how the fuck is he supposed to know that it was an accident? That, like, 30 missiles hit his kingdom. That's a weird-ass accident.
It's also interesting because I'm thinking about what happens when we have real wars, which is if you sign a treaty to end the war, like, the guy controlling the leaders of the two countries don't end up going to each other's jail. If anything, instead of throwing him in prison in, like, you know, I don't know, maybe where do they throw him? Do they put him in Arkham next to the Joker so they can be friends? I don't know.
No, they have a prison specifically for metahumans. And I forgot the name. I think it's Bear. I think that's what it is, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they don't take him to, like, the War Tribunal in The Hague, where the UN worries about war crimes and stuff like that.
No.
They put him in super jail.
Basically.
Okay.
It's the only thing that bothers me about this story, because I don't know how to feel. Because Batman, who's damn near crazy, fuck whatever happened to his kingdom, this is what he doing now. Like, so therefore he must be brought in. But Batman, his kingdom, fuck his kingdom. It got blown up. It doesn't matter why it got blown up, how it got blown up. He attacking the surface world. It's no nuance whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Orm is clearly enjoying this, right? He's clearly like.
This reminds me of a point about Batman I wanted to bring up, which is one of the in the third volume when Atlantis is attacking the surface. Aquaman mentions that this was like one of the things that he and Ocean Master came up with was a contingency plan for, like, how do we attack the surface successfully. And he said that as part of this plan, that they would try to take out Batman very early. And I just really liked the implication that Aquaman was like, okay, Batman will figure out a way to stop me. But me and my brother can handle Superman and Wonder Woman.
I know.
like we can punch them. We'll figure something out. We can handle that. But Batman is a crucial strategic strike against Batman as soon as possible
Don't
because he will undermine everything.
don't you just love how they go out their way to tell how cool Batman is? Like, it takes you out the story sometimes, like how much they talk about how cool Batman. And I guess that's what happens when you like the king of the whole comic line, right? That you get that. Unfortunately, the king of the whole comic line has absolutely no powers in a world that's filled with superpowered people. So sometimes it's weird, you know what I'm saying? Like,
He's got a plot armor.
I do not like that word. I do not. That is a stupid word. Not saying you're stupid. There's a stupid word that fanboys came up with. Look, everything is plot armor. Everything is plot armor. It's literally just called writing a story. But no, also, just on that note, he was mad at him. Oh, you had a plan to take out the surface world? How dare you? Well, yeah, he's the monarch of a country. That's what you do.
Hey Batman, you've got a plan to take out Superman.
Yeah, I was getting to that. That was my second point. Stop jumping ahead of me, Amanda. Well, as I was saying, if I was rudely interrupted, every country got plans to invade other countries. Why are y'all acting mad? You think America ain't got a plan to infiltrate wherever kingdom Black Adam runs? You know, like that's what you do as like a sovereign nation is. You think of scenarios and plans if you have to, and everybody's mad at him because he did that. Also, Batman, you full of shit. We know what you got locked in your bat cave. You literally have like a vault full of kryptonite. Just in case. Maybe, probably. But yeah, I just find that hypocritical. I find that odd that like they get mad at him at stuff that I'm sure everybody does. Especially Batman.
Well, I mean, but I also, whenever there's Justice League stuff, and also whenever there's like the Batman, Robin, or Batgirl dynamic, I always kind of feel like Batman's like the dad. And I feel like it's a very fatherly thing to do to go like, hey, look, do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
And I feel like that's just like I feel like I very much had that. There was very much that version of Batman in this was like, do as I say, not as I do. I don't have time for your nuance. I don't have time for your excuses. I don't have time for you to remind me that I'm not living up to my own standards. We just gotta, get this over with.
Hey, look, there goes the Joker. Let's go handle it. Just change the subject. Yeah. That's definitely that Batman. But
well, let's talk about the other all Black Manta.
Oh yeah.
The other all black crazy wearing supervillain dude with all the gadgets and stuff.
Hey, he's the fucking coolest.
Yeah, he was pretty cool. But where did he get all that stuff?
I don't know. Well, look.
I mean, like, I'm okay with it not being explained. It's just like his suit
is clearly
it's clearly something.
You know what? I don't know if there's ever been an explanation even in the comics. If it is, I've never seen it.
It just seems like he's like a deep sea scavenger, and he's got like this really cool suit that lets him like dive, and he's got like lasers and stuff, and it's just sort of those things where I'm like it didn't seem consistent like how successful he was at this gig. And I was like, the suit seems to imply that he's like really good at this, and he has like, money and resources and maybe like political attachments. But then he also just seemed like a dude hanging out on his boat with his dad looking for old Spanish doubloons or something. So I was just a little bit curious to see like a little bit more of him and figure out what his deal was. Aquaman, he didn't end up dying at the end, right? So he can come back?
Yeah, he was in the Supermax prison, and Amanda Waller wanted him to join the Super Squad.
Yes, that's right.
And he was like, nah, bruh. Well, I also hate that they pumped out. Like, Aquaman kills his dad. Then later, like, well, his dad was wanted for murder and several other crimes. He was no angel. All right, nah, you ain't had to do all that. You could just been like,
Yeah.
Aquaman just murdered his dad for no reason. It's fine. Like,
Yeah.
like but so like wrapped up into this is like 3 issues of the Justice League. The Throne of Atlantis thing goes over 3 issues of Aquaman, 3 issues of Justice League. So like we get like a big peek into like the grander New 52 DC universe at the time.
Mhm.
And you know what? Even with hindsight, Superman and Wonder Woman being together is really fucking weird to me.
Yeah, I found that weird. I was always I always thought Batman and Wonder Woman made more sense, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, me too, and that might be because of the Justice League cartoon.
She was turned into a piggy, and he sang to turn her back into a man. He's saying like karaoke or whatever. Come on, if that's not,
Yes,
if that's not true love.
I love that you were just waiting to say that. You were just waiting to talk about the fact.
I am always waiting to talk about the episode where Wonder Woman was turned into a piggy, because that is like the quintessential example of like DC. How do you get these movies wrong when that could be a great cartoon episode? like that should not work. And you have people who can make Wonder Woman being turned into a piggy work. And yet you
and
didn't
Batman
ask,
singing.
and you didn't ask those people to help you make the movies work.
It's that weird thing where like Wonder Woman getting turned into a pig is not even the weirdest thing in that episode. So
Yeah.
no, it's because like it's always that thing is what Paul Dini and what's his name, the other guy that did the cartoons, like Superman and Wonder Woman being together. I always felt weird because it's like the cheerleader and the quarterback getting together.
Yeah.
That's why when they usually do get together, it's always in the S-World tale, because like it makes more sense in that. Because like, yeah, if Wonder Woman is gonna date anybody,
Mhm.
it's going to be, well, it'll probably be Hawkman, but no, but second, it would definitely be Batman, right? Like it just feels weird.
It does, especially since like the more we give this space to the jock thing, the quarterback thing really drives it home, because Wonder Woman's all about like defying the patriarchy, right?
Right.
And like, what is more traditionally masculine than like Superman? Like, Superman is like a male Amazon, which means like he would not get along with a lady Amazon. Like, it's almost he's almost like philosophically everything that Wonder Woman's culture
Well,
wouldn't be.
I was just about to say, it ain't even so much that he's too nice to be with Wonder Woman, right? Like that's the problem, right? Like, Superman is way too nice to be with that warrior woman.
Yes.
Batman, on the other hand, is just the right amount of screwed up.
Yeah.
And like well trained for Wonder Woman to like, but like Superman is way too nice for Wonder Woman. Way too nice. So I just think I'm so happy they killed that with Rebirth.
Mm.
I'm so happy that's gone. Cyborg being there was like, him getting rid of his long.
That was really upsetting to me. And like, I don't think I've ever read a comic with Cyborg even in it. And I was like upset for him over that.
Desperate time calls for desperate measures, I guess.
I was just like, oh, like, it was just such a clear example of like I feel like just that one situation helped me understand all of the drama of that character. Like the idea that he has very, very little physical humanity left, and he sits there and he wonders about, like, how much of the original me is still here. And then someone comes, like, I guess that's his dad, right?
Yeah.
Is like, oh, hey, I can make you better again. And it's like, I don't, like the original me, there's not much of me left. That was just very, like, I don't know, I kind of, I would read a whole thing about just that decision.
Well, there's a Cyborg like comic. I don't know how good it is, but there's definitely one. I feel like Cyborg, because like the reason they put him on the team and made him like a founding member of the Justice League in the New 52, if we're being honest, was because, well, they needed a black person.
And not just a coded black Martian Manhunter, right?
Yeah,
they needed.
Yeah, and like there's probably no black superhero more popular in DC than Cyborg because of Teen Titans.
Mm-hmm.
So like I understand, but Cyborg don't belong on the Justice League. Not with those. Not with the Big Seven. He doesn't definitely deserve not to be a founding member. And I've always found that I know why they did it. I can't get too mad, but it's weird not having Martian Manhunter there. But then again, Martian Manhunter's so powerful.
Yeah, and honestly, every time Martian Manhunter's there, I'm just wishing he was Piccolo instead. So it's just not a good comparison. You don't want people to be thinking about Green Dad while they're reading your comic book.
Green Dad. Who again, Piccolo, for all the black people that ever watched that show, was always black to us. So that's actually an apt comparison in a lot of ways. How do you feel about his two mentors that ultimately betrayed him? Like both of his mentors betrayed him.
I feel like it goes a long ways towards explaining why Aquaman is less of a team player. The fact that almost everyone who's come to him and tried to help him or teach him something was ultimately like getting something for themselves out of it.
Right.
So like clearly the guy is going to have trust issues. I just feel like, honestly, I feel like that's very consistent with the decisions that we see Aquaman make and like his personality. So, I don't know. I mean, like, I think it's kind of says a lot about what a good person he is that he can even still be friends with anybody after that. I wasn't personally upset for him when reading about the betrayals and everything. I was just like, oh, comic book drama. But now that you put it that way, it's like, dude, does he know anybody who like legit just was friends with him and liked him and took care of him, except for maybe his dad?
Well, I don't want to spoil too much,
Mm-hmm.
Mira was sent to kill him, so even Mira started off as somebody that had that wanted to murder him. I also we talk about we talk about them paying lip service to like Batman and how awesome he is. The fact that Dr. Shin, really for no reason at all, is put as a threat is really weird. Like they never showed why he's a threat. They showed that he's very knowledgeable.
Well, I think the thought was that, like, if Atlantis comes to attack the surface, then people are going to go to him to get intel to figure out how to fight them back.
Right.
And so I think that was, and specifically, like, Batman would probably look him up and be like, look, I need everything you know about Atlantis right now because I'm formulating our, like, counterstrike. But also, I think he was just vindictive about it. Like, he was just like, look, like, if the surface starts attacking Atlantis, it's probably his fault. Like, we need to just,
we just need to take him out. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
to be fair, I also see his point of view too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, I spent my life on this. You gotta give me something. Like not everything, just a little bit. Look, if you just give me some blood or some.
Yeah.
Like, cause like he like, and his dad like, no, we gotta keep this a secret. But at this point, superheroes start popping up anyway, so it wouldn't be the most far out thing in the world.
Yeah.
To say, hey, this guy is from like the lost city of Atlanta.
The police officers in the first volume said as much. Like, they were like, "Oh, he's from Atlantis, ha ha ha," and the guys were like, "That is not the weirdest thing that we believe right now."
Yeah, like seriously, like, well, you got Wonder Woman and Superman flying around. Those like two demigods. Like him being from Atlantis is actually kind of mundane at that point.
Yeah.
And as far as his other mentor Volko, he actually succeeded in his goal. Like, so like that's a good thing. It's a villain that won, if you want to call it that.
Well, he was one of those. So many villains just have like a convoluted idea of how to achieve like a goal that would be good for people. I mean, like, even Thanos is like, "Oh, hey, like, overpopulation is ruining the universe. We need to do something about that." And it's just like his something is not the right way.
Well, if he could have just terraformed a bunch of uninhabitable planets.
Yeah. No. Exactly. So, Volko's the same way. Is he's like, "Oh, I want like Atlantis to flourish. I want Arthur to become king again. I'll do that by starting a war and making sure that like Boston sinks into the ocean or whatever."
I mean, do we really need Boston though? It haven't been that much of a lost.
I questioned. I was like, really? You think we're going to be upset about losing Boston?
At least make it New York, right? Like, make it something we halfway care about.
Yeah, or like, why didn't they go, like, Florida or California have like big coastal cities too? Really? Hawaii, they could have just sunk all of Hawaii.
I get. Like, the problem is
Tokyo.
Yeah, exactly. You need like a big city, and Boston is a big city, but it's not at the same time.
Oh my gosh! I just had a thought of like how fun it would have been if they had attacked Tokyo instead, because you could have had like this sea monster imagery that's like a little bit like Godzilla. And they missed like a really big opportunity there to have like, monsters from the sea coming out to attack Tokyo and having it be Atlantis instead of Godzilla.
And like have Ocean Master literally unleash the Kraken on everybody. Like, oh, that's
real.
Right,
yeah. Oh man. Okay, well, when they do the new 52, we will submit our ideas.
I just want to say that's ridiculous that they will rename it that. But Marvel did all new, all different like 3 years in a row, so it's not out the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about I called them the D-list Avengers, about Arthur's old team, where was there Jungle Girl and like the Seer and then the prisoner and the operative? Are those like real guys? Are those like real?
I don't know. I'm assuming. I'm really assuming that they are. But Amanda, if you got questions like this, you need to ask me before the show so I can look it up. I don't know. I really don't.
I mean, it's not important whether they were characters that existed.
No, I think it is. I really do think it is, because I don't care about them. Not even a little bit.
Well, but I mean, that's the point, is that like they're only there to show us how Arthur used to be, so that we can get like, because what they're doing is it's condensing his story arc. Because we're getting a present day very large action set piece at the same time as we're getting like the beginning of his character arc. So we're seeing like the beginning and the end at the same time, and it makes the whole story go faster. So the only reason they're there is to show us what he used to be like. So it doesn't really matter if they were characters that existed before. I just kind of liked this idea that he gave them all artifacts from Atlantis to make them legit superheroes. It was just kind of very like Wizard of Oz, like, oh, and like in my bag I have, a globe teleporting orb for you, and I've got a mask that lets you breathe in outer space for you, and oh, I've got golden manacles for you. Oh, and then the scepter, of course, that controls the trench. I just thought it was it was so funny, but I was sitting there very like in the spirit of the Power Rangers, being like, oh, like someone could just give me an Atlantean artifact and then I could dress up and be a superhero.
I'm gonna tell you, this is what I was thinking, especially when the Jungle Girl, who name I can't remember, we just disrespected that poor girl. Why couldn't that have been Vixen? Like somebody I definitely know.
Well, they were almost all killed off by Black Manta in this volume. So they had to be people that weren't going to be used by any of the other writers.
True. I like that Meryl was just the right amount of jealous. Mm-hmm. Not too jealous, but just like, who the fuck is this half-naked broad saying she know you? They just popped out of a portal. Oh, and you're leaving with her. Okay.
Yeah. I just like the, oh yeah, I trust you, with like the implication that there will be like there will be punishment.
Oh, we're going to talk about this later.
Like I trust you because what I really trust is that you know what I will do to you.
Should we talk about the trench? Because
we should.
Because there's some goddamn Lovecraftian nightmare feel right there if there ever was any.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't brought it up because they weren't really a character. Like Ocean Master was interesting because there was like, he had a goal and there was you could relate to him, and then the way he was treated was unfair. The trench are just sort of like,
they're a force of nature.
Yeah. And they were horrifying. Do we think that they're going to show up in the movie?
I'm almost for sure they are. I've as you know, I collect action figures, right? Me and my son.
Okay.
And we've been buying the Aquaman movie action figures.
Okay.
And like what they do with the $20 action. I'm gonna tell you the whole thing. What they do with the $20 action figures for like the Marvel and DC line, they're made by different companies, but what they do is they call it build a figure. So you buy one character and you get a piece of the figure. So when you buy it makes you buy the whole line, so you can get this one build a figure.
Okay.
And the build a figure for this Aquaman wave is a trench warrior.
Oh, there we go.
And
that's a really clever way to do it, because you don't know what that builder figure is going to be ahead of time, right?
Well, no, they tell you on the back.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was like, oh, that would be like a fun way to have the action figure available, but not like tell everybody what's going to happen in the movie. But oh, never mind.
Yeah, well, and like just going a small tangent. It's a really like. It's cool, but it can also be a really dirty way of like making you buy a bunch of action figures you don't want. Like at the beginning of the year, they got a Spider-Man wave, and they've had several Spider-Man waves over the last few years. That at this point, they sort of kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as what 6 or 7 characters depend on the wave. So they got this new wave. It's kind of lackluster. But the builder figure is Kingpin. So, he's just like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Because you want Kingpin, you may not want 6-armed Spider-Man, though.
So did the Trench Warrior look anything like how he was drawn in,
A
in this
little,
book?
a
A
little
little
bit.
bit?
Yeah. Actually, they look more fish-like with legs, but
Okay.
hold on, I can look up a picture. But yeah, no, it definitely looks very similar.
Okay.
But my problem with it is, it's a trench warrior, right?
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have been the builder figure. Like, maybe you should have made Black Manta the builder figure, in my opinion, because with a trench warrior, you might, with like characters like that, you want an army build. You can't army build if you gotta buy like 7 characters to complete it. But no, hold
Well,
on.
I'm glad you're the expert on this action figure side of the market.
You know what? I can send you a picture. Can I do that through Skype?
Probably. We do live in the future.
We do live in the future. Hold on 1 second. Just gonna vamp, man, the vamp.
Yeah, the trench just felt kind of like this classic evil monster thing with they had like, I don't know, I got a little bit of like an Alien vibe where they were taking people and like paralyzing them with their goop and putting them in little cocoons and bringing them down so that they could feed their queen. And there was also always this like super creepy build up to it because Aquaman, who of course can talk to fish,
he doesn't talk to fish, Amanda.
I know,
God.
I know. Oh, I know. He couldn't control the fish because he couldn't override their survival instinct. So all of the fish, everything living in the ocean, is aware of the trench and swimming away from it. And it's sort of like super creepy because it's like when you're watching a horror movie, that's the point where you start yelling at the screen like, nope, nope, turn around, nope. Don't know what we're doing. And he's like, we have to keep going. And I'm like, nope, we don't.
Check your Facebook Messenger.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, these guys are definitely going to be in the movie.
So it's like a movie version, but they look close enough,
Yeah.
with some embellishments. But yeah, it does add like a really good horror element to the whole thing.
Yeah, and we haven't really had in the DC movies, we haven't recently, or have we ever had superheroes just fight like mindless monsters? Right?
Well,
It's always like villains with motivations.
Well, in Avengers they did fight, but again, that was at the behest of Thanos. But they did, like as like shitty.
The Chitauri, right?
No, not just the T'Challa, but did you watch Infinity War? Whatever those dog creatures were.
Oh yeah.
Which is actually they are very trench-like. So I'm assuming it's going to be very similar when they show up. But I wonder. Just talk about the movie for a second. I wonder how much can they fit into like a 2-hour movie. Like they can't fit all of this in.
Okay, well obviously they're gonna forget the D-list Avenger part.
Yes, all that is wiped away.
And we'll probably only get the flashback to Arthur's dad once. And maybe Dr. Shin will be cut out completely. We'll probably get more Ocean Master just because he's like a cool character. I don't know. I'm really glad we read this because I'm really excited to see the movie now.
Right. You thought you'd never say that, huh?
Okay. Well, let me fix this. I was interested to see the movie before. I'm now excited about the plot of the movie because I am notorious for tolerating movies exclusively because of the costumes, especially if they have cool hats. Right? Like, if they've got helmets, if they've got hats, if they've got tiaras, if they've got, like, glittery stuff, they've got cool armor, like, capes, all of that. And so I was definitely already interested in this movie just because there were going to be some cool costumes.
Oh,
But
by the way, Randall Park is playing Dr. Shin in the movie, so Dr. Shin is in the movie.
okay, okay. But yeah, now I'm actually excited that I have an example of like a really good plot for an Aquaman story. So I'm like, yeah, maybe this is gonna work.
Well, and this want to bring up another thing too. Jack and Kyle shot this theory down, but the more I look at it, I think this is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason they rebooted the new, and I have no evidence of this, but I really think the reason they rebooted the DC universe back in 2011 was to make all their books into movies. Because like we're several movies in now, right?
Yeah.
And like because like I read a lot of the New 52, a lot of this feels like, like when I was reading it, I like, oh, this seems like it'll make a good movie because everything is cinematic, and I wonder, was that a mandate? Because the Superman movie came out exactly a year later after the New 52 reboot. And like they have the same costume, like with no short, no trunks on the outside, and like oh well, that obviously they planned that, but I just don't think it was that one thing, because like how it stands now, right? The Wonder Woman movie takes a lot from the New 52 as far as her origin goes and all that. This Aquaman movie definitely takes a lot from the New 52, and honestly, the Justice League movie takes a lot from the New 52 Justice League. It is almost the same exact plot with just slightly different characters and a bad guy.
Interesting.
So I'm wondering what the mandate was with the New 52 was, we're about to go full throttle on these movies. Let's try to tell like these quality cinematic stories that we can adapt. Because it seems like the stories they're adapting now pulls more from newer stuff, whereas Marvel seems for more or less pulling from older stuff, with some exceptions.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that may have been part of it. I remember at the time, the big drama was that DC was ostensibly trying to bring in new, younger fans. So the idea, like, I remember what they were saying was that people were intimidated by not knowing where to start reading Superman, so they were like, well, now they'll know, because they won't walk up and have it be like Superman 400 and something. It'll be Superman number 4, and they'll know what they're doing. But I remember the controversy there was like the stories, a lot of them weren't really written for new fans.
No, they tried to half-ass it, and like that's what they felt. Instead of just completely rebooting, they just kind of half-assed it. Cause like
I remember that being the frustration, was that existing fans were like, this new stuff is shitty, and new fans were like, this still doesn't appeal to me.
Because, like, New 52 Superman is very much the Superman in Zack Snyder's Superman, like, tonally.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering that the New 52 was just there so they could have, like, movie plots.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think it also depends on, like, when we look at this Aquaman movie, is the creative team from this, is Geoff Johns getting money for that?
He's involved.
Okay, because I know that one of the things Marvel has been accused of is going to those older plot lines so that they don't have to pay people for them. So it kind of surprises me a little bit that DC would be like, okay, we're going to like reboot everything and put together stories that we can just put into our movies 5 years down the line. And if they're too obvious about it, then those people all have to get money for it.
Well, but again, it's Geoff Johns. He a company man. He's getting paid anyway. And it helps when most of your line is written by him.
Yeah.
Because, like, apparently the Flash movie was going to take cues from his New 52 Flash. So it's just like, it seems like a lot of this. Well, I mean, of course it's for new readers. You want to refresh, right? But it feels like they was trying to, quote unquote, update and make everything cool so they could put stuff in movies. Fast forward to 7 years later, Superman got his trunks again. Batman has his trunks again. Like,
yeah.
Wonder Woman is no longer the daughter of Zeus, apparently. So, like, but, like, it does seem like they took a lot of stuff from the New 52 to build this universe.
Well, I think that's definitely part of it. So I'm not gonna completely throw your theory out.
Well, people say I'm nuts, but, like, they owned by Warner Brothers. You don't think there's any, like, corporate? I'm not talking to you, but I'm just saying, like, you don't think there's, like, some weird corporate synergy there? You know what I'm saying? Like, they over there looking at what Marvel's doing, raking in all that money.
Yeah.
And, like, they have heroes that's just as known, that's even more known than, like, an Iron Man or a Thor. Like, you got fucking Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and Aquaman. He's a joke, but everybody knows him. Everybody knows more about him than they do Iron Man.
Yeah, I've always felt like DC had a case of the tryhards. Like they try too hard and they ruin everything.
Like things are going good, then as soon as things are going good, they feel like they need to
Well, like, instead of just making a good Superman movie, they were like, no, we've got to make, like, a transformative Superman movie. It has to be unexpected. It has to be more than just Superman being Superman.
You know what? I'll be down with that if they had a different director and writer. Like, that can work.
But it's like they feel like their characters are so iconic that everything they do has to be, like, amazing. And it's like, no, like we just make it medium. Like, all of the Marvel movies are, like, medium to great. And the DC movies are just, like, all over the place. Yeah. So I feel like they're just trying too hard. They need to chill out. They need to be like, hey, these are just comic books. We can, I just want them to relax,
Well, it seemed like they're relaxed. I don't know. They did just announce a Zatanna, Plastic Man, and Blue Beetle movie, so I apparently know they're not chilling the hell out. Like, I'm just like, what the hell is the Superman movie? Like,
yeah.
Where's the sequel to that? Where's this? Like, look, they messed up. They starting over. But how are you going to start over when you establish that one? Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I just, hopefully all these movies will be good, but it would be nice to get, like, the core characters right before, Well, Amanda, I think we've gone completely off the rails at this point, Amanda. So
we're now just discussing the philosophies of the main publishers. So
so would you recommend this book?
Yeah, I would. It doesn't require a lot of background knowledge. It reads really, really fast. It gives you a good idea of what like a epic Aquaman story might be like, and it has enough Mira. So,
I mean, Mira is always good. Like, more Mira. That's what I say personally. I always say more Mira. Look, a redhead in a tight green suit. Yeah, I'm all for it. Like, I don't, like, I'm who could potentially murder me. Like, it's all there for me. So, I'm definitely down for more Mira.
Well, maybe we'll get lucky and there will be a Mira spin-off movie after this.
Well, they have a Mira comic out right now if you ever want to read that.
I know. My local store puts it in my pull box, and I haven't gotten around to reading it yet, but that may be what I do for the rest of the day.
Is read some Mira?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're done with our conversation about Aquaman. We got into the weeds there a little bit. So, Amanda, what are we reading in a couple of weeks?
I would like to continue this trend of hilarious warrior kings and have us take a look at the webcomic Battle Pug, which you can find on battlepug.com. And there are also printings of this, which I think may be available in comic book stores or Amazon, but if you're looking for it online, battlepug.com is the right place to go. So you're all right with a webcomic, Jamil?
I mean, look, hey, why not?
Why not, right?
I mean, we read Chaos, so
we
hey,
did.
It can't be no worse than that.
Yeah, there are several volumes of Battle Pug. I would be happy to just take a look at the first one.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean it's all online, so there's no reason to stop. You can just keep hitting next forever.
Okay. So Amanda, where could they reach us at? Anybody?
You can reach anybody. You can reach us online. We are on Twitter as Comic Book Club 52. We are on Gmail as comicbookclub52@gmail.com, and we are the Comic Book Club on Facebook. Anywhere else?
No,
that's all the places, right? That's all the cool places to hang out.
Yeah, I think that's it. I'm actually thinking about bringing up a MySpace page and the GeoCities site.
Oh, we got to get on Tumblr while it's still there.
I mean, like, yeah, because like that's gonna go out of business because you can't you can't have titties on there no more. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't think they realize how bad. Look, it's so bad. Pornhub offered all artists that would like to come over a safe space for them to do their art. So, all
right. Well, who knows? Maybe you guys will, if we talk about books like Chaos enough, maybe you guys will find us on Pornhub eventually.
Hey, look. I'm just saying, if we do a Tumblr or Pornhub, I will definitely show my titties. I think we've reached the bottom. Cut it off. Yep. I'm Jamil.
I'm Amanda Comey.
And we are out.